Good morning from the anchorage at Tracy Arm. You can see the water is really still this morning, and the snow level is pretty low. It was very misty and gray around 6 o'clock. It's about 7:30 now, and we're just starting to get the clouds breaking up a little bit, so that's encouraging. Hopefully the snow, rain, drizzle will dissipate and we'll see a little bit more blue sky today. So while I was outside playing with the kittens, Jim was running weather.
Yep, download weather. Use the iPad with the Iridium Go this morning. All looks really good for today's cruise.
Let's take a look.
That's running it for today. And by that time we're anchored. We're going from here to here. Nothing really much expected today. Very, very calm. Should be very calm. This is always going to be kind of swelly and stuff, but looks like pretty calm. I downloaded 2 models for this trip today.
And the yellow shows a little bit of wind to the north of where we even are, practically. And
yeah, and
so hopefully should be really smooth.
Another thing about this location, this entrance to Tracy Arm is notorious for your radio doesn't work here hardly because of your location. So on weather,
in the morning, chance of rain and snow in the morning.
But we got a little bit on weather 4. That's really cool. I think that's the result of our big new antennas, because most boaters report no access to weather from this location. So it's been cutting in and out, but right now it's working.
We are on our way. We're heading out of the anchorage. We're happy to report that our navigation system is happy this morning. We have 10 or 11 satellites, which is a nice change from the 4 and 5 we had yesterday. So whatever it was.
I think it's just time of day and this location or something, because everything that was receiving a GPS signal, that
the Garmin,
everything every GPS had really weak signals last night, and they all have really strong signals today.
There's our green can. The red can. And straight ahead are the range markers. The cats are determined to share the same little bed.
Heading toward the entrance bar here at Tracy Arm. If you want to see here, you can see what looks like a bar entrance with a little opening that we can go through. The reason these, a lot of these places where there's glaciers at inlets, at the head of inlets, have these bars is this is the point that was the furthest advance at some point in history of the glacier. So this is where it advanced to, and when it started to retreat, it dumped a bunch of sediment and created these bars at the entrance. You see them all over Southeast Alaska. So in this case, we are 25 miles from the glacier now, but at some point, the Sawyer glaciers reached to right here.
Little bits of ice floating around. That'd be a big hunk to stop the boat. We are in 220 feet of water out here with this amazing iceberg. It's about 41 degrees in the water and 35 degrees outside air temperature. We have one AIS target. It looks like Coast Guard Wahoo, so another Coast Guard boat. We did have one pleasure craft yesterday,
Yeah, how about that?
but that's it.
We just saw them from a way distance.
They were, behind us and went into Taku Harbor. And there's a Coast Guard boat up this way, but I can't see him yet. There's an 85-foot Coast Guard vessel. He's now turned around. He almost looks like he's going to start chasing us. Well, surprise, or no surprise, here comes a tender. Portage Bay.
Oh, what's the name of the bay, Rose?
Portage Bay.
Oh, Portage Bay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No. My wife and I. Oh, nothing. These are fair-bait stabilizers. Oh, sure. Okay. You can play around in the boat.
All right, guys.
What does this do?
Oh, it's their paperwork
Yeah,
stuff.
that's our
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we got,
My
little investigation
thing is not
stuff
working
in there.
right now.
Well,
All right. Oh, Jim, do you want to give him a hand with that?
you got all the right techniques, right? If you could, this is like a thing only Rosie can do.
Oh, just sorry.
There we go.
Thank you again.
Thanks, you
You
guys.
guys stay safe.
Thank you. Yep.
All right, you guys have a good day.
Bye, guys. All right, Jim. So I shared briefly what kinds of things besides, what the other thing I looked at with him is we went downstairs and we looked in the bilges. He wanted to look in the bilge. So that was the other thing
Oh,
we
cool.
did. So we did that. And
Just look through the small round port?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
With a flashlight?
Yep.
Cool. How'd it look?
evidently fine. He said it looked great.
Yeah.
Said, yeah, and he goes, oh, you got Lehman's? I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, they're trusty. And they were
New
just
engines?
putzing along, and
So
he
the
was
guy
very
is-
excited about our full-size washer and dryer down there.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
The guy I was with wanted to know how many heads and where our holding tank was, and confirm we understood the rules about discharging, and wanted to look at our flares and pointed out they expire later this year, and then looked at our documentation paperwork and wanted to know about life jackets.
Yep.
And otherwise, that was pretty much it, except for lots of cool questions about what it's like to live aboard and sea venture, because he thought our pilot house was just the cat's meow or something. He thought that was all pretty cool setup for a pleasure boat. We talked about the paravanes and how they handle roll stabilization, and that it's rare for them to see them on a pleasure boat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we had a great visit. Talked about them being out of Port Angeles and being cold and snowy and wet up here. And
The weather sucks. Yes, we talked about that.
you mentioned your guy said this was the first boat they found in 3 days, and they're supposed to be up here boarding. I said, well, there's not going to be anybody to board up here because there's nobody pleasure boats cruising around. So,
Well, if the weather would be a little better, they'd have a lot more boats to board. Everybody in Juneau was talking about how even in March they were out cruising last year,
yep.
but not this
So
year.
that's it. And they've turned around now and continuing
No,
on the other way.
Yep.
So no surprise, because they're up here trying to board boats and there's no boats to board, so they're not going to
No, absolutely not. And they're off.
So I don't mind the Coast Guard boarding. You know, they work hard out here trying to give us a platform to stay safe in U.S. waters and even international waters around the U.S. So I have a great deal of respect for them and really appreciate them being out here. And if they want to come on board and have a tour and make sure we haven't missed anything, I think that's just great. So
Did they check
I
fire
like 'em.
extinguishers?
He did. Oh, yeah, he did check that. Yeah. I showed him the 4 that are so up here and then our big fire boy. The one that's in the engine room we talked about, and the fact that there's one up on the fly bridge and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Okay, we're in the middle of Stevens Passage, the big wide area. A ways out is 5 Fingers, where we caught those halibut last year. Cruising along at 6.5 knots. Rosie's taking a short break from what she was doing she's in the galley prepping pulled pork for the slow cooker. I think that's the dinner plan. But look off here off the starboard bow. I see blue sky. Almost need the sunglasses. That's pretty invigorating.
We are cruising by 5 Fingers Islands and working on our approach to get to Whitney Island up ahead on our left, and then hopefully we will make the left turn and work our way to Portage Bay. But look at the blue sky. That's pretty exciting. That little guy needs to get up on the boat. Can we just snap our fingers? Will that make it happen?
Nope. So you can see that we're barely moving. You can see where the chain's going through the water. I might be able to, but if there's any movement of this, it really increases the resistance. These things work. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's humpback whales right there.
Oh my.
That's a lot more interesting than bringing in the paravanes.
Yeah, you're on your own. I'll hang out here. It's the next morning. It's about 7:10. It is 33 degrees outside, 8 knots of wind. Spring has not arrived yet. Yeah, we're just getting ready to pull up the anchor. The anchorage is not the calm place we settled in last night. Some winds kicked up, and we're gonna go see if we can find our crab pots and see if we caught any crab yesterday, or overnight. So for now, Jim's all bundled up. No more shirt sleeves for him, and we'll see if we can get this anchor up.
Cruising along this morning on our way to Wrangell from Portage Bay, about a 9-hour run back through the Wrangell Narrows, which you're almost as experienced as we are. This will make our our trip up to Juneau, 3 days from Juneau back to Wrangell. And you may be wondering why we're headed back to Wrangell, because we do have another little boat project that we're going to execute on that we'll share with you in a video, but it's no secret or anything. You can see behind me those beautiful teak pilot house doors. Yeah, they leak lots of air. Well, those beautiful teak pilot house doors are going away, and they're going to be replaced with a custom-made anodized aluminum watertight doors that are Dutch doors, so we can open just the top half. So our new custom-made doors took about 8 weeks to be made, but they've been made and they are sitting in Wrangell. They have arrived. So that's a little project. That's why we're headed back to Wrangell. I don't think we'll be there too long.
We're heading east in Frederick Sound towards Petersburg. The water looks really good out here.
It does. Very nice and calm. What time is it? Just before 8 a.m. About a 9-hour run today, I think. Back to Wrangell. Back through the Wrangell Narrows again.
One more time.
So looking forward, we happen to be headed right into a little bit of sun right now, but if you look out there, there really is not. Surprised the sun has anything to make it through. Doing about 7.5 knots at the moment. Out here, just relaxing, about 20 knots of wind on the nose, but not too much fetch here at all, only a few miles, so it's quite calm. Paravanes are not in the water. We don't need them. Cruising along fairly close to shore. 400 feet of water. We were listing a little bit to port because we do list a little bit depending on which water tank we're drawing from. So we switched to the port tank since we had about a 1 degree list to port, and Rosie's doing her part to maintain ship's operations by taking a long, luxurious shower and using water. So that's what she's doing now. Otherwise, just working our way toward the Wrangell Narrows. We'll be in Petersburg in about 2 hours.
Here we are on the approach to Petersburg. We've had a really nice cruise in Frederick Sound this morning. We're just entering the Wrangell Narrows by Petersburg, heading southbound, and we have a big old current arrow against us. And it looks like we have a lot of current in the channel right here. It's twirling us about too.
Yep, kind of moving us around a little bit. So there's no good timing today for the Wrangell Narrows, because to have the current in your favor the whole way, you need the high water slack in the middle. In that middle spot, and high water slack today is, of course, twice a day, and one of them's at like 6 a.m. and the other one's 6 p.m. So I think we're going to be stuck with the current against us all day, or you can wait a week until it's at the time that you can get it, or at least a few days. It moves by about an hour a day. So there was no timing today to get the current in our favor. So we may actually be timing it exactly opposite where it needs to be and have the entire day through the Narrows of the current against us.
Good times cruising along at 4 and 5 knots instead of 7 and 8.
Obviously, there's a lot of current right here.
There you can see the current against us on the buoy. And I haven't remembered this from previously. This is why, when you have a really big tidal exchange, you need to watch your depths very carefully. He looks like he's still anchored. There is a Coast Guard vessel. I'm not sure if it's the Wahoo that we that boarded us yesterday.
I don't
or
think so,
if
because
it's
they went
another
on
one.
north.
That's right, they did. But here's another vessel of similar class. Similar class vessel. How do you say that? Yeah, it looks the same. It looks just like the other one.
Working our way through the Wrangell Narrows. Expected the current against us the whole way, but this is just how it's kind of hard to sometimes predict exactly how it's going to play out. Right now traveling at 8.6 knots with a little bit of current with us. What the heck? So I think we got here soon enough that it was really against us at the entrance. Now this section, it's with us. And really don't know how long this will carry us, but we'll take it.
We've exited the Wrangell Narrows and we're heading east in Sumner Strait on our way to Wrangell. We are about 17 or so nautical miles from Wrangell, so we're just going to continue on this heading. The water's good. Looks like we might get some rain or snow. I think it's going to be rain. It's 41 degrees here, so it's certainly a bit warmer here than it was in Stevens Passage and the area around Juneau. So anyway, we'll move on and we'll see if we get precipitation or if we can hold off just a little bit longer. It's been a great day so far. Rain and wind has kicked up, but we are now approaching the Wrangell Harbor and going to work our way inside. We have about 18 knots of wind on the starboard side, but the waters have stayed pretty settled. And at 41 degrees, it's almost balmy outside.
Well, this is a great moment to wrap up this video. Thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. It's always great to hear from everybody. Stay tuned for the next video. We get back to Wrangell for those pilot house doors and immediately delay that project when a sunny weather window opens up and we turn around and head right back to the Tracy Arm area and explore a bucket list item for us going into Ford's Terror. So stay tuned and look forward to seeing everybody next week.